November 1st, 2016, Tuesday night. And we start off with Earth 210. And as we last left our heroes, they were in New Jersey, and where Chris's group, Chris, who also calls himself Galaga, was, he calls his team Stars. It's made up of Nova, Mary Marvel, Justice, Spider-Man, Kid Flash, Blink, and Chris arrives. He's been beamed down there from the asteroid M, and he helps his team. Last week he was able to knock out Apocalypse and Black Adam. This time he and the team are able to defeat Deathstroke. Deathstroke is mostly defeated by Kid Flash, who takes all of his stuff off of him very fast. Deathstroke's never encountered him before, so and then Chris, through the mental link, orders Nova, who is Sam Alexander, to blast Deathstroke into the nearby waterway, and which he takes him to. And Deathstroke tries to shoot him in the head, but the helmet protects him from the bullet, assuming that would happen. And then the rest of the team there, Kid Flash notices that Justice, who is Kamala Khan, goes by the Justice in this world, she is stretched out all over the place and is really hurt badly. And they figure out that there's this giant Arab-looking man who is known as the Living Monolith, old X-Men comics. He works for Deathstroke, and he is attacking Chris's team. Chris works his way into his brain, even though he has some telepathy as well, and goes for the attack. The combined forces of Kid Flash, is it Mary Marvel? Kid Flash and Nova, Mary Marvel, are able to knock Living Monolith down there into this suburb area, and when he crashes down, Chris Galaga goes into his brain and knocks him unconscious. He also reaches on board Deathstroke's lightning ship and finds that Hit Girl Mindy McCreevy is there, and he knocks her unconscious as well. They decide, after getting back aboard his ship, Staria, he has to wonder, what the heck am I going to do with this team? As they discuss it, they come to the decision that they're just going to leave, and the police were showing up anyways. What they're going to do with the leftovers of Deathstroke's team, who knows? But Chris's team leaves, and then we also catch our other heroes, the Argonauts. That's Alex's team, made up of Batman, Hope, Sage, M, Charles Xavier, Prodigy, and they're still on Asteroid M. I call it Asteroid M, but it's not really Asteroid M because Magneto never took it over in this alternate world. But they're still on the asteroid, and he's trying to find out about the lights that Hope was supposed to interact with. He didn't get to find out much in this week, so we'll see if he finds out anything next week. Then we go to Kentucky, which is where Omega Dawn is. Christopher Lord and his team are made up of Isis, Armada, Mimic, Zatanna, are there to pick up Sam Guthrie, Cannonball, for his team. Christopher Lord calls him up on his cell, on Cannonball's cell. Sam answers the phone, and he talks him into coming outside. And once out there, he goes about recruiting Sam for the team. Just basically has to ask them, do you want to join my team? Calvin, though, interrupts a little bit by using some of Armada's powers. Armada is really a Martian, and Mimic Calvin also has her powers and phases through the ship, gets outside, and kind of freaks Sam out a little bit. But Sam, because he just got his powers this day. And even though this is still March 9th, 2016, real early in the morning, this is just earlier that day, Sam had gotten his powers by blasting out of the mine, just like in the comic books, and save some of the miners. Sam's joining this team thinking, I need to make some money, and I need to take care of all these siblings that I have. So maybe Omegadon will help him do that. So, and he leaves with Omegadon, and then on board Christopher Lord's Lightning ship called Yang, and they fly to Gotham, looking for Alan Scott, the old Green Lantern, the original Green Lantern. And then later, we leave that world to go to the world of Clefland. Clefland with a D at the end. And it's day 2, and people are finally starting to wake up here. I go to Mifflin, where we pick up, where we last left our heroes, was in the Duchy. Duke Frank had woke up and was starting to get together with a lot of his bannermen, his lords. And while there, he gets a call from the king. The king knights Duke Frank so that Duke Frank can so he can knight other people. Once he joins up with all of his people, they have a large breakfast all together, and then his clan, if you will, Clan Infinity, who all came from Red World with him. If you have any questions about this, put it in the comments below. Frank and the rest of he knights all of the men and their firstborn sons. He knights them and starts giving orders to certain groups of people what they're going to do next. Like he also gets he tells like his son Caleb that he'll be the ruler of Medjia, which is 15 miles out of town, and he tells Ryan that he's going to that Ryan needs to go take care of the Citadel. Lord Ben Riley and Lady Caitlin go to the Tower of Science. He tells his sons Luciano and Domenico to go to Blackjack's Tavern to pick up the knowing and bring him back. So he ends up, after a bunch of his other lords get on board his lightning ship called Juno to drop them off at their various castles throughout the land of the duchy. He explores his castle, and we try to things are really slow, by the way, gaming here on Clefland, because we're still doing a lot of setup for the future of this gaming on this world. And so as his family members and his clan members go to their respective castles, we go up to Clefland. Oh no, we'll go to Mifflin next. No, Mifflin, that was the duchy, and I should be maybe right. We're going to Hastings, the county, right? Count. This is really being slow, guys. I'm sorry. Count Hastings. The Count of Hastings. And I'm trying to look through this thing. I could probably do this from my memory. But I am looking through here. Roger. Okay, ready? And Hastings, come on. Right, I should have. There we go. All right, so Count Marcus wakes up with Zatanna, that's his wife, and she they realize that Xander and Zara, their twins, have never returned home. Their other kids, Zames and Giovanni, nicknamed Zio for short, are still at the castle. They get cleaned up with the other members that are still left in the castle of his clan. Are his brother Tempest, and his wife Marie, and their kids, Julian Keller of his one of his bannermen, Julian Keller married to Monica, and their kids, El and Santo, all of which still are in the castle in Hastings. Um, the Countess says she's going to go about creating a coven. She's like the Archmage and the Sorcerer Supreme of Cleflin. Yes, we use more Marvel terms because it's a world where Marvel and DC characters exist, and we're playing amongst them. Hopefully, you guys don't trademark and infringement. We're just having fun, fan fiction, if you will. Anyways, so after they're getting cleaned up in meetings amongst each other, Count Marcus decides that he's going to walk into Hastings to try to recruit some people to help take care of his castle. He needs a steward. And I know this is like admin stuff, but this is just setting everything up for the future. And from there, we go to the march. The march is led by Marquis Alex. Marquis Alex wakes up and is getting together with his family, and they are. He's married to Madeline Pryor, clone Gray. Actually, it should be Gray on this. And she and him have a bunch of kids, and they're talking with them. They get them together for some sort of breakfast. Returning home is Floki. Floki was one of Madeline and Alex's sons that is really super smart. What he did was he went off to one of the lightning mages' towers and learned everything in one night of how to become a lightning mage. And he comes back in one of the lightning robes, all this high-tech stuff on him. So it's really interesting that he was really able to go for an apprentice to a full-fledged mage in one day. Owazu, who is the Marquis Alex's son, bastard son with Nyoko Hayabusa, he, after reading in the library all night, finds out about Dragonsbane. He is Wazu's half supreme, and he needs. The dragons are going to seek him and hunt him down if he doesn't get a hold of Dragonsbane to keep them at bay. So that's hopefully something he can do in the future. I don't want to just say a lot, so we're working on that. His son Anders is still in Cleflin. Anders wakes up in the Elvish Quarter and is working on getting to know other the elves in the Elvish Quarter of Cleflin. Back in the March, Marquis Alex also calls Duke Frank up and talks to him about some plans that he has and looking into the future for them. We skip through the rest of those guys and we go to Ray. Ray was playing in the barony. Baron Ray wakes up and he goes, besides getting together with his family for breakfast, Baron Ray, who has a possessor, doesn't have a lot of other powers that he can use, goes about dropping off these contraptions that he had got built the previous day in Mifflin at the Tower of Science. Baroness Beth goes about trying to set up some sort of steward for the castle because they need a staff in the castle. Baron Ray asks his son to take care of the aqueducts. There's aqueducts that come into Camelot, his city, and will fill up the moats with water. Will fill up and bring water to most of this huge farming community that he has around there, and they're awaiting for the armies to return from the elven border to the Marquis, where his army was attacking the elves. Because they were gone. The royals were gone for 60-some years. If you have any questions, make a comment. And we go to Marrakesh after this, where Andrew, which is Baron Ray's brother, rules with Namora. They wake up, and after hearing his having a meal with his kids, Andrew meets Tristan Trent, who is Dustin's son, a friend of Ray's from the past. Anyways, they want to find out what happened to him. Triton and his two sisters, after they've returned from Avalon, have some petrified people that they plan on taking to Cleflin to see if Xander and his sister Zara can unpetrify them and find out more about the mysteries of Avalon. Now he didn't get much more done in Cleflin than in Camelot than that. Then we go to that's it for the gaming that we did this week. Yes, it wasn't a lot. We're trying to get more done. There was a lot of interruptions while we were playing, and I really want to see more gaming getting done amongst these characters, so you can hear some of our stories of which is going on. See you next week.